can hear me, you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Oh, so sorry, my network had it. I'm Onyeka Stanley again.
Okay.
I'm applying for data science.
Data science. Wow. Um. Okay. We have someone from Uganda that will be taking us on data science, and I hope you are ready to ask the questions you want to ask. Please and please ask every question you can for the application, for the program itself. The tips I will just give you is ask question, because it's not about getting here. It's about doing. It's about knowing what you want to do. And if I should ask you, do you have any background in data science, or probably you are from Agric and you are trying to pursue data science or something like that?
No, I'm from Nigeria. I study statistics.
You study what?
I have been teaching mathematics for about 6 years. I study statistics.
Oh, that's fine. That's really cool. You're good to go. I think people that are really complaining about R programming, about Python, advanced Python, and a lot of them have little understanding of what those languages are. And I believe you should, since you studied statistics.
Yes, I have a background knowledge in R and a little of Python.
Okay. If you are selected for the scholarship, I would just advise you take more courses on R and programming, because that's everything here is just advanced. And if you are not, like, if you don't have the adequate knowledge, it's a lot of people are really complaining in data science concerning how their stuff is. It's so rigorous. So just to build a foundation, you can, even the one you have, you can just get more certification, learn more, like go deeper into it.
Okay. What have been scaring me is chances of getting the scholarship, because I've been applying for scholarships, and yeah.
I understand, right?
The one I managed to get, that was not funding. So I just saw this on LinkedIn. I said, let me try it out. I know if I'm opportunity to get that, the work might not be the problem. I'll invest all the time to make sure I go through it very well.
It's fine. I believe that if you put all the whole work, you'll get it. I think if you follow me on LinkedIn, I shared my story. I started applying for scholarships since 2019, and I just got one. So you don't know which one will actually work for you. And funny enough, this is my first time of applying for Mastercard, and my first application, and I got it. So if you're not getting those other ones, just keep doing your best, keep shooting your shots. You don't even know if this one will even click. Yeah, I'm Gabriel. I started applying since 2019. I applied to Erasmus, I applied to Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. In fact, apart from applying, I was spending money, because I had to send transcript to Finland, send transcript to European country. I even wrote IELTS academic. Funny enough, that's expired. I did not use it. So I did a lot. My mental health was at stake. My money was at stake. The rejection was even killing me. So it was a whole lot on my own end. But once you want something, you just have to go for it. And last year, I almost did not apply. The funniest thing was, I almost did not apply last year because I was so tired. I was really tired of the rejection. In a year, I get 6 to 7 rejection. Sometimes I get the admission, but no funding. So I was really tired at my own end. But I just had to this one. I just saw the Mastercard, let me go for this. I've not applied for this before. And I did without, in fact, normally I do reach out to other scholars to help me review my essays, to help me work on my stuffs, my CV. But funny enough, Mastercard, I did not reach out to anybody because I was so tired, and I was tired of giving them the bad news every time that, okay, you know, when once you is now I even understand, because scholars are really going through a lot. 24 hours is not even enough for us. We have like 24 hours, but you are always in class. You have deadlines for assignments, you have labs. In fact, it's so tedious that I now understand when scholars tell you that I don't have the time, just send it to me. When I have time, I can actually go through the stuff. So during my own application last year, I did not reach out to any scholar. I did from the interview, from the stage 1 to the interview, I did everything myself. And I was so lucky to like get the opportunity. Out of, I think, 9,000 applicants, were just 40 that was selected. Yeah, 40 that was selected. 45. You can see that out of 9,000 applications from different African countries. So it's really a lot, but just give it your best. And have you reached out to anyone to help you review your essay, like data science? We are just having a chit chat on one or two things before the main webinar starts. That's to be starting by 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. my time. We are currently at 7:53. So I think in the next 7 minutes, people will be joining, and we'll just go straight into the webinar. But I'll just advise you to like ask your questions. Though if you have questions and I did not even like reach out to you once you raise up your hand, just drop them on the chat box. While the speakers are going, like they're giving their presentations, I can just go to the chat box and ask any questions that you want to ask. I'm not the panelist for today. I'm just hosting the event, so no question is directed to me, but I'll just go through the chat and answer whatsoever I think I can. Then I'll call upon any other scholars that can just check in one or two things. Is there anyone that asks any questions just to like ask before we start the webinar?
Hi, Tomide. It's afternoon.
I can't hear you clearly.
Hi. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Thank you for hosting this. And I want to ask that for recommendation letter, is it necessary to use a professional email?
For recommendation letter, the one you are sending to Mastercard, I think you are the one inputting it yourself, right? If you are the one adding it to your application, the email, I always advise you to use a professional email because it's very compulsory. Then if they are giving the letterhead, the reference letter, you should try and make sure they put it on their letterhead. Like if it's a company or a school, they should put it on a letterheaded paper. But I will also advise always use a professional email. For the UBC application itself, they'll ask you to put in their professional email. Aside the professional email, you can't put Gmail, you can't put Hotmail. It must be a professional email for the UBC application itself. But for the Mastercard, I think you can put any email since you are the one uploading the reference letter yourself.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I answered your question.
Yes, thank you very much. The reference I want to use for my community engagements the reference I want to use is a school principal, and the school does not have organizational email, so he only has his own personal email address.
Oh, then you really have to get someone that has a professional email. Like you need a professional email because that's what UBC will use. If you're using that for Mastercard, I don't think one thing about application is be consistent. If you are using Ola, for example, for your Mastercard application, you should also use Ola for your UBC application, because I realized that they don't review the essays like batch by batch. The UBC will review your essays. They do it a bulk like review. They'll check the UBC, they'll check the Mastercard. So your consistency matters. So if you are trying to apply, please, any reference you're using for your Mastercard application, please try and use the same email for your UBC application.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other question? We have 3 minutes. 3 minutes to go. 3 minutes to go. 3 minutes to go. I saw someone. Is it Daniel that raised up his hand? Daniel, I wanted to say something. You can ask any question. We have 2 minutes to go. At least, okay, we have someone already. One of the panelists already. So, thank you, Bode, for joining. We have 2 minutes to go. Okay. Oye Kachi, you can shoot your shots.
Yeah. Do you get admission in one of the universities first, or you do the application at the same time?
No. Mastercard does, like, we have what we call round invitation. Like this one you are doing now is the first stage. So you have to send to the first stage. So once you pass through the first stage, you have been selected by Mastercard, then they'll give you an invitation to apply to UBC. Like, you understand?
Okay.
So this stage, you're applying to Mastercard itself. So if Mastercard see your application, they'll like screen out. Then if you are selected, they'll send you another round 2 applications to UBC itself. And this application, they'll also include a fee waiver, because normally if you are to apply to UBC, you're supposed to pay, I think, about 15 to 20 card or something for your application fee. I can't remember. But Mastercard will send you a fee waiver to apply for your course. So you don't have to pay. They'll give you a restricted fee waiver. Then you apply to UBC. So after that, if you pass the second stage, they'll send you an invitation for interview. I think that's the last stage. You do an interview, and then the next call will be congratulations. Or that's that.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So now you just need to focus on this application, because this is the key to opening the other doors for you.
Okay, ma.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Good evening from Nigeria, and I think other countries we have Africans. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Olatomide Blessing, and I am studying Masters in Sustainable Forest Management at UBC. And today's webinar is designed to help prospective scholars. I believe that a lot of you have gotten the link to apply for those scholarship. I'm trying to admit people. I don't know why it's not admit. Okay. I believe majority of the scholars on call, prospective scholars on call, because I believe we have potential people that will be joining us next year. A lot of us have received the link and we are going through the applications, and I believe that this webinar will go a long way to help people. So I've been able to bring every scholars in all programs to chit chat and say one or two things about the program, about their experience, about what they did differently, and also you can ask questions. You are free to ask questions. While they are speaking, you can drop your questions on the chat box. Other scholars can go into the chat box and answer while people are speaking. So, firstly, we have Masters of Sustainable Forest Management. Olabode will be standing in. Olabode will be standing in for Masters of Sustainable Forest Management. I know a lot of us would want to go for that. I also have Masters of Data Science. We have Land and Water System. We have Forest and Resource Management. We have International Forestry. We have Masters of Science. Master of Science is research based, and I think that is very competitive. So it's a research based, and it's for 2 years. Master of Science for 2 years. So we have Sylvia. Sylvia will be taking us on Masters of Science, and we have Food and Science. All the whole program you can think of. So just use them, ask them questions, and then utilize the time. Use the chat box. Feel free, and then we dive in. I think, let me check if Syria is on the call. Syria. Okay, while we wait for Syria, we have Julomi on the call. Julomi, please, can you introduce yourself and just tell us briefly about what you did during your application, what advice you have for scholars, how is MSFM program going so far? I think in just 5 minutes. Thank you. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Olatomide, for hosting this. I believe everyone in this call can hear me clearly. Can you hear me all?
Yes, sir.
Oh, good.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, thank you so much. Good morning from Vancouver. Good afternoon and good evening to all of you part of the world. Let me apologize to some of you that have messaged me asking questions or the other for review. I'm running the other things like that. I'm very sorry. I don't have my own time. And I believe you guys will also come here one day to experience what I'm going through. But that, by the way. Now, let me congratulate some of you that have already received the link to go to the next stage. I congratulate you. Mastercard Foundation Scholarship is a comprehensive scholarship that covers all over whatever you can think of. Is I will ever and ever recommend Mastercard Foundation 100 times. So quickly, what I did in my application was unique. Then when I received my interview, then they asked me to rate my application. I told them that I can rate my application 9/10. I just dashed them 1. So they said that was fine. That for me to have the confidence to rate 9/10, they said they give me 10/10. So it means that that's something that I did differently. And it's an opportunity for you to learn today. Additionally, what I did was I told a true story. Please be yourself in your application. You don't want to tell someone else's story, because if you don't tell your story, you are wrong. And additionally, do not just go to ChatGPT and copy and paste. I'm not saying you should not use it. If you want to use it, please know the right way, the ethics of using AI. So, and you don't want to be a bad writer. So if you know what I'm trying to say, please take note. So because you are competing with a lot of intelligent students, a lot of people. So if you write badly, then that thing will sweep under the carpet. So try to be smart. So if you want to use AI, use it wisely and make sure you tell a good story of yourself, your background. Start reflecting on what you have done in the past. That's what I did. And some of you that I've engaged, please try to reflect back. Sit down. Think of your life in the last 5 years or in the last 6 years. What have you done? So start picking all those things down one after the other. And additionally, if you are telling something, when you are telling a story, you must provide evidence. I'm not saying you should attach pictures or links. Please do not ever attach pictures and links. Maybe you've done something, you want to attach pictures to your LinkedIn so that they will see what you have done. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying be active and your story must be evidence-based. Okay, one of my story was I was in Ghana in 2022 to plant trees. I'm studying Master of Sustainable Forest Management. Sorry for not mentioning this at the beginning. So anything about forestry, I've been planting. So this led me to Ghana. So how do I say this? So I was in Ghana. I led a delegation of 40 students from Nigeria and other parts of the African countries. It happened to be Ghana Green Day, where they are planting. I don't know, Sylvia, I don't know if I'm correct. Ghana in 2022, they planted over 5 million trees. So yeah, I was happy to be a part of the initiative. So my team member, we planted over 1,000 trees in Kumasi. You can see this story. I mentioned the time. I mentioned people that are involved. Over 40 students, for be specific. Understand? Then we planted. What do you plant? I planted so thing. This location, Kumasi. What is the purpose of this? Is to mitigate climate change in regional area in Ghana, Kumasi specifically. Then who are those people that benefit? So the community in Kumasi, then the secondary school students, because we engage teachers and secondary school students, we teach them how to plant. We plant in the school, in garden, in open spaces in Kumasi. So you can see that a lot of people benefit. You can mention at least 2 groups that benefit the program. What you said you did ahead. Then additionally, then what's the impact of your contribution? Then what do you do? So I planted, I also led a team. So those are my responsibilities. And what has the impact? So I believe that this should provide shade for students in these high schools and mitigate climate change in the region, Kumasi, and many blah 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 like that. So you can see how I tell this story. Now I expect you to provide evidence, even though they don't want to like go and find evidence from what you wrote. They will definitely find evidence. You can't just say general statement that I plant this, I do this, I do. Everyone can say something like that. Please be smart. Be what? Be smart. Then lastly, before my time, you have to have someone called accountability partner, someone that will review your essays. I believe when I was reading my essay that I believe that yes, I'm okay. Yes, this is the best. Mastercard don't have option than to give me this plot. It wasn't like that. I have to forward it to someone that have my time. Please, if you message scholars, if you don't have to, I'll respond to you. I'm very sorry. Scholars are going through a lot today. It's not easy in their courses. Many things like that, especially Master of Sustainable Forest Management and all others, not only us, others, Master Science, Data Science, all of us, we are very busy. And that is UBC for you. So it's a rigorous environment. You don't have time. Even to talk to family, there's no time. So assignment over assignment. As I'm talking to you, I have like 3 deadlines I have to meet this weekend. So that's by the way. So what I'm trying to say is that have an accountability partner that will review your essays, what I've written. So make sure they review so that you don't rely on your knowledge alone. Understand? Be original, tell a good story, have evidence in your story, and have an accountability partner. And lastly, what I will say is pray. If you're a Christian, if you're a Muslim, if you're a traditional practice, if you're doing traditional, please consult your God, because everything comes from God. So I believe with this, and if you have, it doesn't necessarily you have a first class, it doesn't matter. Yes, so far you are 2-1, second class upper, and you have leadership experience and many things like that. So, and those of you that will come like MSFM, my program is very intensive. It's a 9-month program. You will go to field trip. I think I will start from here. You go to field trip, you will do exams, you do many things like assignment over and over. You can see a lot of it there. A lot of me there I know from Nigeria was shabby, but now you can see her. You can even see me. Those of you that know me before, we have up and down, doing. So it has been an enjoyable moment. Yeah, you enjoy UBC. It's not about this, but yeah. So thank you so everyone. I look forward to learn from you too, your questions and some other things. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bode. That was quite a lot in a very limited time. I actually will emphasize be real. They said be real in your application. Be real, show evidence. Like what Bode said, please try to show evidence. Okay, I'll have Sylvia. Sylvia is on the call. Sylvia is from Ghana, and she's one of the scholars that won the Masters of Science 2 years research base. Sylvia, over to you for 5 minutes. Thank you.
5 minutes? All right, thank you. Okay, so my name is Sylvia. Thank you so much for having me. I am in the Master of Science in Forestry program at UBC, and today I'm really happy to share my experience. 5 minutes. Let's see what we can do.
Let's do it 10. Let's do it 10. Yours is 2 years.
All right. So because Ola has already gone through the application process, I'm not going to really focus on that because it's very similar. So the first thing, okay, so the thesis-based program is just like, it's very different from the course-based in that the thesis-based program is research intensive, like the heart of the program is research, all right? So you work with the supervisor to conduct a research, you produce thesis at the end of your studies, you defend your thesis and then graduate. So having said that, it means that if you are thinking of applying to the thesis-based program, you want to have, I'm tempted to say substantial, but let me just say some form of research experience, okay? Because it is so important. So the first process is you apply to the Mastercard Foundation, just like any other program. And then after you have been selected, usually Mastercard is going to send you emails containing what your next steps is going to be. So for the thesis based, your next step, the very first step, is to find an advisor. And that is the most critical part of your application process, because unfortunately, forestry puts a premium on that. You cannot apply to the program itself without having someone to supervise you. So it means that you have to do a lot of work, right? A lot of work. So you want to go to the program website, read about the professors, read their profiles to find their research interests, what are some of their current and past projects they are working on, read to know about some of their publications, what are some of the research methods they are using, and then use that as a vehicle to sort of know which professor you would like to work with. After you've done these things comes the nerve-wracking part, reaching out to them. So you need to send them a tailored email describing yourself, what your research interest is, what is it that you like to do at UBC. And in that email, the most important thing is that you express interest to work with them. You should let them know that you are really interested in being in their labs. You should let them know that you've read about them, you know them, you are in love with whatever they are doing. All right. So let's say that you have reached out to a professor. In reaching out, I want you to also prepare for interviews, prepare to provide a research proposal in case you're asked for a research proposal. Also, be prepared to submit a writing sample just in case you're asked for that. I'm going to unpack this a little bit. Okay, I'm going to unpack this a little bit with my experience. So in my case, I did all of the above. So I reached out to 3 professors. One of them never responded. It's okay if you don't get response from some of the professors. It's part of the process. Do not freak out. All right, you'll be fine. The second responded and said, he doesn't have any space in his lab. And then the third, the last one to respond, that is my now advisor, said, you know what? I've gone to your CV, I've gone to your profile, it looks great, but then you should also provide a writing sample and concept notes. Concept note is simply the research proposal. So what I did was I used 1 week to prepare the research proposal. I went back to reading his profile, read a lot of his publications just to get an idea of what he's been doing, and then use that to identify some gaps in his work, some questions that I felt like, I wished this professor, this work addressed that and all of that. And then I used that to kind of get a topic, develop the topic. So I used 1 week. So I'm going to say that when you are asked to provide a research proposal, do not freak out, right? They are not looking for perfection. All that they want to know is that you have the ability to conceptualize a project, a research. You have the ability to identify a problem and then think of ways to actually solve that problem. And then another thing I'm going to say is that it is very important to have support. Have someone look over your work, have someone review your documents for you. So in my case, I had my undergraduate advisor. He actually went through my proposal, gave me his feedback, and that actually made it better, right? And then the writing sample is simply something that you originally wrote yourself. So it could be your undergraduate thesis, it could be a term paper you wrote for a class, it could be a scholarly article that you published in, let's say, a newspaper or anything, right? So that is that about it. I'm trying to talk about the most important things. So let's say that you have successfully landed an advisor. So the next step is to apply to the program itself. So I'm going to be talking about I'm going to be touching on a few things that you want to have on your, let's say, your either SOP, whatever you call it, SOP, letter of intent, whatever it's called. I've forgotten what UBC calls it. So in your letter, one most important thing to note in your letter is that you've been able to secure an advisor, because like they are going to ask you, you need to have that. So in your letter, you should state that this professor has accepted to supervise me, and then you should also write like why you want to work with them, why you're interested in working with them. And then that message, that confirmation email from the advisor saying that he's willing to supervise you, he's willing to support your application. That is what Mastercard is going to use to give you the fee waiver code to apply to your program. Also, because the program is research intensive, thesis based, you want to make sure that your letter, your essay is research intensive. Like, what do I mean by this? You can use one paragraph to sort of describe a research you undertook into details, but it has to be very concise and precise. So what did you do? What methods did you use? What did you use the methods for? What were the results, right? The most important result, and why was that even research even important, and how does that even relate to the program that you are applying to? So that is that about the essay. So now moving on to your CV, because again it is research based, the heart of the program is research. You want to also make sure that you scream research in your CV. So if you have published any article, any research article, it is a good time to include it in your CV. If you don't have any publications, but then you've submitted a manuscript into a journal, make sure that you put it in the section of preprint, right? And then also, I want you to be specific with the section of research experience. What did you do? So let's say that, so in your research experience session, I want you to be very specific. Talk about some of the research that you've done. So like you can write the topic of the whatever you did. What methods did you use? So for instance, maybe I use this function in R to do this. I use this research method to do this. You have to be very specific in the research session. Another thing too is that, you know, they are looking for a well-rounded individual, right? So it's not just about you being able to conduct research, it's also your ability to communicate your findings. So another way, so one way is like through the publications, and then through the preprint and all that. Another way that you can like let them know that you have the ability to communicate your findings is through presentations, right? So if you've done any presentations at all in your life, it could be that there was a presentation. Okay, it could be that it was a presentation at a seminar. You should put that. It could be that it was a proposal, not a proposal, a poster presentation. You should put that there. And then also in your CV, when you are admitted into the thesis-based program, automatically you're a potential teaching assistant or research assistant. So if you've had any experience at all, it could be that it was voluntary, it could be a paid internship, whatever it was, you should also put that on your CV. So wrapping up, I want to say that, take this from me. Anytime you interview with anybody, whether a prospective advisor, employee, at the end of your interview, you want to send them a thank you note, right? So I say that to say that you should start building your relationship with your advisor right from the word go. So you can send them a thank you note after your interview. When they've sent you the confirmation email that they want to supervise, you should also send them an email thanking them. When you've applied to the program, you should let them know. In my case, like let them in the loop, like let them know what is going on with you. Start a relationship with your advisors and make sure you keep that warm. So like when you've been admitted into the program, you should let them know when you are applying for your visa, when you intend to travel to Canada, all that. And then again, I want to end by saying that as much as you want to get into UBC so badly, make sure that whoever you want to supervise your work really is doing something that you are really, really interested in, is the person that you want to actually work with, because trust me, I stuck with them for 2 years, right? So make sure that in your interviews you ask them questions. Never leave an interview without asking questions. So ask them questions to really establish your fit. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much, Sylvia. If you have questions so far, we will just be taking like 3%. You can just raise up your hand. So if you have questions for Bode and for Sylvia, please raise up your hand. Just have like 5 minutes of questions and answers. Oh, I can see Nkechi.
Hello, everyone.
Nkechi, can ask your question.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you so much for this space. I really appreciate it. So I wanted to confirm, I watched your video on YouTube. I think you were speaking on this last year as well. So you were mentioning emphasizing on your personal projects or community projects, where you've shown past leadership capabilities, where you maybe as a personal project going to schools and speaking to students on the issues that you are passionate about and engaging in projects that are in line with that. So I want to ask, what if you've not done all of these things but you want to apply for a scholarship?
Your question is directed to
you.
Me?
Yes.
I'm still on the call. I think Sylvia is rushing to somewhere. I'll answer your question probably later after the program, after the webinar or the sections. So, who have any questions for Sylvia? Simon, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, you can ask a question.
Okay, good evening. I'm really grateful to be on this webinar today. So I want to ask a question, and the question is that I'm a graduate of English and Literary Studies. So, and I'm hoping to switch to data science, and I want to apply for scholarship in that field, that is data science. Though I'm already learning data analysis here, and very soon I'll switch to data science here before applying for the scholarship. I want to ask, despite my background in humanities, will I be considered for the scholarship? And also, will it be easy to switch from humanities to science field? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Simon, for the question. We have Peter from data science that will be running through everything about data science. I think you'll be the best person to answer the question. So, Peter, if you're on the call, please, can you take note of the question? So probably when you're speaking, we can just like revisit the question and you touch a little on it. So he said it's from education and wants to transit to data science if it is possible. Please just note the question. So, Miracle, do you have questions for Bode or Sylvia? If yes, you can unmute your mic.
Okay, I have a question for Bode.
All right, it's fine.
Okay, I'm a graduate of good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for this fine opportunity. I'm a graduate of sociology, and I've always been involved in environmental projects. I think that was the first thing that drove me to sociology. I wanted to fill the gap between society and the environment. So when the scholarship offer came, or the scholarship advert, I actually went through it and I picked a course in forestry. Now I am applying for the course on Masters in International Forestry. So I just have two questions. I think they are together. One is, how possible is it, just like this, because this guy asked on data science, is it for me to get this scholarship? But I have voluntary experiences I've done on environment, but not straightforward forest, but on the environment and a bit of forestry. And so what is the best, is Master of International Forestry the best program for me? That because why I went for the Master of International Forestry was because while looking at the portal, I saw that they accept scholars or celebrities that were from social sciences. So please, I don't know if I'll be able to communicate my question properly.
Yes, you have. Bode, over to you.
Yeah, Miracle, thank you for that question. If I may hear you clearly, you said you don't really have academic background in environmental management or studies like forestry, but you've done something related to that through internship, volunteering activities. Is that correct?
Okay, I think it's good. I think that I don't have the strong foundation, but in sociology, I think there are a lot of courses. I think there are a lot of courses we need that are environmental courses. Even there's one
Okay,
professor that's
okay,
environmental
okay.
sociology.
Just a moment. What's your undergraduate study like? What do you study in your undergrad? What do you study?
Sociology.
Sociology. All right, that's good one. So I will be frank with you. You've already choose the correct program in forestry, because had it been you choose MSFM, I would have advised you, because they will ask you something like, if have you done something related to forestry in the past? So if not, so that is a red flag. But since you are from sociology and international forestry, yes, I think it's a good idea. Yeah, it's a good place for you to, like, if you can like tell a good story and express yourself very well, you are good to go. MIF, yeah.
To add to Body's advice, I would say that for scholars that are trying to transit, yeah, if you might study, I saw a question on agriculture, then you have interest in data science. If you want to transit, then you should also look at, if you don't have the leadership experience yet, you should also try to make your essay in a way that, okay, fine, I did agriculture, but I am trying to transit to data science, and these are the things I have done, like taking course on Coursera. I've been able to like enhance my knowledge by going further. Like, show them what you have done, like show them what you have done for them to see that, okay, you are really ready to like transit to data science. So I think that will go a long way. Sarah, over to you, please. I can see your hands up. Sarah will be the last question we'll be taking for this section.
Okay, so good evening from Nigeria, and thank you so much for this session. My question is, while writing my essays, Bode mentioned that I don't know if it's Bode or the other speaker
Sylvia.
mentioned that we should, Sylvia, thank you, that we should show evidence. Okay, so I have a whole lot of work experiences. So how do I show the evidence? Now, in my essays, I copied some of the evidences, the links, and added it in brackets, but it's making my character limits exceeded. So I need advice on how best I can go about this. Then the other question I have to ask is to the guy. You made mention that someone will be speaking on data science soon. So I want to ask that, okay, the way Sylvia said that there's a research base for the forestry, is there also a research base experience part of the Mastercard Foundation for data science as well? Thank you.
All right, but over to you on evidence-based question. Then for data science, Sylvia, do you have any idea if there is research for data science?
So I don't know. There could be, but then under the Mastercard Foundation program, there is no research-based. The only research-based program they are covering is forestry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Sarah, you can note that no research-based for data science. So, but the evidence-based question.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Sarah. Yeah, that's a very good question. I appreciate this for bringing this up. Now, sorry, let me on my video so that people can see me. So, for your evidence-based essay, number one, so look at the time. You want to talk about time. The time, because you can't say you do this without having a time. And you can also give timeline that when this thing was done. Like when I was in Ghana, I put the day that, because of my days, yes, I went to Ghana in July, that is June. I put date, year 2022. And the project took me a week. So you can see I put the timeline already. Good. Then the location, where do you work? You must put the location there. You can't say I work in Ghana without saying a specific location you work on. So I work in Kumasi. and some other locations like high schools, open spaces that are with planted trees. So I mentioned the location. Then you want to also mention people involved. You don't need to name people. Don't name anybody. Yeah. So how do you measure people involved? Just tell the specific, and do not bring a vague number. Like maybe you said you work with 100 people, 200. Be specific. If it's just 4 of you, or 10, or 20, 50 that work on that project, just mention and be specific of the number. Do not say over 50. Be specific of the number. Maybe, 30 people join me in this work. So that is people involved. Now, then your own role is very important. Your role or responsibility. Are you the leader of the group? Are you the founder? Maybe you have a foundation. Are you the founder? Are you the co-founder? Or are you just member? Just be truthful. A member, it doesn't matter. A member can take a good role in a team. So try to define your role in that project or the foundation. Then what is next is in your role is that what do you do? What do you do to contribute? Then what was the impact of your role? What was the impact of your role? Then another thing is the result. After you did this thing, what is the result? So you must measure the result. How people turn up for this. People were aware of this. They don't know this thing before, so they were able to know this when we did. So that is it. Blah blah blah.
All right, thank you so much. I think Oyedikachi asked question for Sylvia, so that will be the last question we have for today, for this section. Sorry, Oyedikachi, you can unmute and ask. Please summarize your question.
Okay. So basically, I wanted to ask Sylvia. She mentioned something about, I think hers was a thesis-based masters, right? So I wanted to ask. Yeah. So I just got to realize that she was a Mastercard Foundation. So does it mean that, for instance, I missed the, what's it called, expression of interest, right? So does it mean that if I go ahead and secure a supervisor, I at least have, I don't know if they have funding for, research assistant or something. So that's what I wanted to confirm, right? Actually, I'm not even from an agricultural background. I'm from an economics background, but I intend to, go into should I say agri-economics kind of courses, right? Yeah.
Okay, that's actually a good question. So usually forestry also has funding. So what you want to do is that, first of all, what is your research interest? So you have to identify that one first, and then go to the program website, look for faculty members whose research interest kind of aligns with yours, and then go to their page. And on their page, sometimes you should be able to tell whether they are ready to accept new students, whether they have funding for you. And I think you should look it up. There are other fellowships that you can apply to fund your studies at UB. So the first thing is look at like your research interest. What is it that you're interested in doing? And then try to find someone in forestry whose interest aligns with yours, and make sure that they are able to accept new students. Just like if you're interested in climate change issues, sustainability, science, energy, I know that for my lab, about 3 people will be graduating this year. So potentially we have spots for new students. I think we have spots for about 2 master students and I think a PhD student. So you can look at that if you're interested. So my advice, if you're interested in energy issues, climate change issues, sustainability, and also policy, you can I'll do that just. Yeah, I'm just giving you like tips. I mean, we are trying to help ourselves to accept new students if they have funding to accept new students, right? So just go on their website, read about them, the work they do. If you are interested in whatever they are doing and they have funding available, then you can reach out to them. But please, you understand?
All right, thank you so much, Sylvia. So now I'll be calling on Roland. Roland is a scholar in Masters of Land Water System, MLWS. So Roland will be telling us brief about the program and also what he did different and 1 or 2 tips for the scholars. Roland, over to you for like 5 minutes. Let's see what we can do in 5 minutes. Thank you.
Yeah, all right. Thank you for the opportunity and a good day to everyone. So my name is Roland from Ghana, and I am studying the Master of Land and Water Systems here. Very first of all, I'd like to say congratulations to all those who have passed the first stage. Just get to know that you are moving from this stage to being also selected finally by Mastercard, and then the school having to write an application to the school and having to work on your visa. So there's still some process ahead of you. What I want to emphasize first of all is that you are competing with a whole bunch of people, and so you need to really prove a point. You need to really make an impact. You need to really make sure that whatever you are communicating is really important and really captivating. So the Master of Land and Water Systems program is basically a professional 12-month program that helps you to really study about land and water, policy making, watershed management, and then about forest management and all that. And so it is really important that if you want to apply for such a program, you need to have some kind of background in sustainability, some kind of background in environmental science, some kind of background in, let's say, any environmental project at all. The main purpose of this program is to help people become professionals in managing the environment. And so you need to have those skills. That notwithstanding, it doesn't mean that if you do not have any, should I say, academic background in such programs, then you would not be considered. You need to, as well, if you are interested, prove that you have engaged in projects that are related to managing the environment. And I would like to refer you to what Ola Bode just mentioned, saying that you need to really indicate that you did this at this particular time with these set of people, and these are the things that you achieved afterwards. And so be clear in what you are writing. Also, the Mastercard is really interested in getting to know and getting to admit people who are leaders, who are making impact. And so make sure that whatever you're writing in your essay is indicating that you are making an impact in your community. Whatever you're writing in your essay is indicating that you are doing something that is good. There's a part that is going to be asking you to really talk about some contributions you are making to the community, or some things you'd want to, projects you want to bring up. And this is the part that you need to really talk about, a plan that you have. At this point in time, you need to have known that there's this project that I want to undertake. There's this project that you have identified the problem in your community and you want to solve it. It's at this point that you really want to talk about those things. And so make sure that you are telling a story of a problem in your community and how you are in this present moment solving it, or how you are planning to solve it, and how the program that you are applying for is going to help you solve that problem. That is basically one of the most important things you need to indicate during your essays. And so have that plan, have that project, and be very clear in your solution to those problems. I'd like to talk about the fact that you would have to write essays, you have to write a CV. Do not make them so separate why am I saying this? I'm trying to say that sometimes you have some details in your essay. The details in the essay are saying that you have undertaken this project, you have done this, you have done that. Yet when we come to your CV, we don't find that in your CV. Let your CV and your essay conform. Let whatever you are saying in your CV and your essay be almost the same or exactly the same. Your CV should be kind of a summary to the things that you have written in your essay. And so make sure that your CV and your essay are conforming. And that means that you have to be real. Ola Bode mentioned that don't come and tell another person's story. I've seen a lot of the scholars come in, a lot of you prospective scholars coming to us and saying, please give me your your essay, give me your CV so that I can look on it and then write mine. Well, what I always tell people is that write yours, give it to a current scholar to review it. That's the only thing we can do. If we give you our own and you blindly copy from there, thinking that that is what is going to help you to get yours, you might be deceiving yourself. And so be real with what you are doing, be real with whatever you're writing. Don't try to lie, because if you try to lie, as the process goes on, you are going to reveal your true identity. Let me put it that way. I think essentially I'd like to also add that you are going to be requesting recommendations and references from people. This is the point that you need to get references from people that you have worked with. Don't go and get a recommendation from someone that doesn't know you, someone that even through your CV, some of the activities and some of the projects you say you have worked on haven't really been part of that process. And so get recommendations from people that are actually aligning, that actually know about your leadership and your mentorship activities and your academic prowess. Get recommendations from such people. Don't go and get recommendations from any random person. Those people are the ones that can really attest to some of the things that you have done and really give you a better hand in this application. And finally, ask questions. You can always ask us questions. And as Bode mentioned, we are kind of busy here and there, so sometimes we might not be able to reply. But please do ask questions. Try and connect with other scholars, current scholars, and ask questions. And if we can, we would answer. And if we do, please take the advice. And I hope that you'll be fine. I think essentially that is what I have. Thank you.
Thank you so much for those amazing tips. Like emphasis on we are always busy, but if we can, we'll definitely answer your question. So I think we have Sophia. Sophia is for Masters of Forest Resource Economics. Sophia can just say one or two things before we go into another aspect of questions. Sophia, are you on the call?
Yeah, hello.
Good morning.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Yeah. Can you confirm that you can hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So my name is Sophia, and I'm studying Master of Food and Resource Economics, not Forest and Resource Economics.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. So Master of Food and Resource Economics is basically economics, but with emphasis on environment, sustainability, and agriculture. But it's not different from the economics you already know. So you're basically doing a master's in economics, but they always try to tie it to the environment, sustainability, and agriculture. So that's the only difference. Yeah, so congratulations to those of you that have made it this far. My advice for you guys when you're writing your essays and when you're trying to prepare for the scholarship in general is for you to try as much as possible to be real. I'm not going to say anything very different from what others have said, but I would say that try and understand the question and try and tell your own story in a compelling way, and read the question very well. I'm not sure the questions are very different from what have been asked in the previous years. So read the question very well. Look at where they talk about how they want to help women. They want to help people that are interested in the environment. So make sure you look at those key things that you are looking for and write around those key things that you're looking for. And please make sure you don't have things like typographical errors, grammatical errors. I mean, it's already a very difficult process. So when you have those little errors that can be avoided, it makes it easier for them to write you off. Because why do you have, in a very competitive process, why do you have things like grammatical errors and punctuation errors in this era where people can review for you, where even you have things like AI can do the review for you? So that is even a non-negotiable. You shouldn't be having any kind of typographical or grammatical errors in your essay. So that's one. Secondly, someone has spoken about someone reviewing your essay. Yes, someone should review your essay, but the person should not alter your story. Like, you should still be very confident in yourself. So the person is just giving you their own opinion. So you can choose sometimes, if you're very confident, not to necessarily take your opinion. Yeah, so but like, as much as possible, have so many people review it for you, which is why it's very important to start the application process early enough so that you can have as much time as you want. You have as much time for people to review the essays for you. Yeah, very, very important, especially people who have already gotten into the program that you are trying to get into. Go on LinkedIn, you find them. And again, still ties back to starting the whole process early, because they may not respond to you early enough. So if you're late, like there's somebody that messaged me for Arizona State University, and she was basically messaging me 5 hours to the deadline. I'm like, how much can I help you? So should I stop everything I'm doing to, so you have to also be considerate, right? So I still tried to help, but I couldn't do so much at that time. I had to just read it once and send her a voice note. But if she had told me, like, giving me enough time, of course I would sit down, read it, and even attach comments and maybe even review, so you have to be considerate. People are also busy. So so apply early. Make sure you're answering the question that is being asked. Make sure you're eligible in the first place. Like, for example, Master of Food and Resource Economics, you have to have done your undergrad in economics or courses very related to economics. So if, in fact, okay, the way they did it this year, if you are not even eligible by now, you wouldn't be in the application process, because there was like the first stage where you do your statement of interest. But generally, when you're trying to apply for things, eligibility is very important, and it makes it easier for you to apply and to apply for whatever you're applying to, and makes the process enjoyable when you are eligible rather than when you're not. So what else can I say generally about application? Yeah, I don't know if I can talk about the interviews right now, because you guys are still in the first stage of the application process, right? So then for your statements of intent as well, similar things. Check what you're looking for. Look at, because statements of intent is going to the school and is more for the school and not for Mastercard. So you have to go to the school. Like, for example, for MFRE, which is Master of Food and Resource Economics, they have a website, they have Instagram, they have LinkedIn, they basically have a page on almost all the social media. You have to go and stalk and look exactly what is it are they doing in this course, so that you can channel your writing to what they want, and it increases your chances of getting in. I think that's pretty much my advice for you guys, except if anyone have any specific questions relating to the MFRE. But yeah, that's what I would say for now.
All right, thank you so much, Sophia. That was quite a lot in a limited time. I really appreciate those tips. I think if you have any questions, you can also ask on the chat box. I think the scholars are open to like respond on the questions in the chat box, so we'll try to minimize time. Like I said earlier, we have an event by 10 and we are trying all our possible best to accommodate everyone's questions, so you can just ask your questions on the chat. I can see Bode is doing justice already to some questions. Roland can also assist and other people. So everyone has been saying data science, questions on data science. I think we have Peter Makula who will be taking us, I think, about 10 minutes on data science, because I saw a lot of questions on data science, and let's see what we can do. Peter, are you on the call?
Sorry,
Yes.
Peter, I'm so sorry to cut you.
Okay.
Guys, just one more tip. Please, there is no award for, I don't know if anybody has mentioned, but there's no award for who submits the application first. Exactly. Please take your time. Not again, don't submit it like if they say 11:59, you are submitting it by 11 o'clock. No, that's not what I mean, because you might have issues that but like at least give yourself enough time to sleep over it and submit. Don't, because you are done 2 weeks before the deadline, you are rushing to submit. Why are you rushing to submit? There's no difference between who submits first. So I just wanted to add that. Take your time. Yeah.
No pressure at all. Me, normally what I do is just like look at my application. Even though I'm done, I will like look to like towards the deadline. So I think Peter, we have a lot of questions on AI usage. I think you can open from that aspect, like AI usage and all that.
Hello, Olatomide.
Oh, Roland.
Yes, just one last thing. I was talking about your recommendations. Please make sure that the people that you are asking for your recommendation can really write it for you, because without the recommendation, you might not get it. And so talk to them earlier than time so that they don't delay your application, because if you miss their deadlines, you will not be considered.
That's true. Thank you so much, Roland. Peter, over to you, please.
All right, thank you so much, my boss, for this great opportunity. To everyone, my name is Peter Waswa Semakula, and I'm currently doing a master's in data science, and I'm a Mastercard Foundation Scholar. Right, let me start with the question that was asked earlier. Someone was like, I think they didn't have really a lot of background in data science, and were asking themselves whether they can be given the course. Now, unlike maybe universities in maybe Africa, where for you to get a master's degree in a certain field, you need to at least have done something related to that at your undergrad, things are a bit different this side, because they may not actually only consider those who did things related to IT. Anyone can do data science, by the way. All you need to do, when you're filling your forms for the university, for those who will pass through the second step, you will see that they always ask you to explain how you meet the requirements for the course, either based on what you did at your undergrad or the work experience. You know, there are some people, for example, a person who said that maybe they did economics or something different, and they've been actually taking on roles where they have applied data science concepts, and now they have experience. So such a person can come actually and they defend, they explain how their work experience has really made them acquire the skills and at least the basis and some beginning requirements for doing data science. So it just depends on the way you explain how your working experience or what you've been doing, or the activities you've been in, prepare you well to take on this course. So to answer that question, yes, you can do data science even when your undergrad wasn't really directly, you didn't do things directly related to data science. I think I've answered that. I'm not really going to say a lot. Most of the things have been said by my colleagues concerning as you're writing your essays. For example, be consistent. Consistency matters a lot it matters a lot. You know, when you're writing things and they are really contradicting themselves, the first essays you wrote something different. Now you wrote something different, and the last questions you're answering them differently. Consistency is key. The moment you're not consistent on your things, that's already a red flag. So that all said, I know some of us have been people who have engaged in different things. So when you look at these essay questions, you're like, wow, I can answer this because I've done these activities, I've been a leader in these positions. Yes, though you have all that, please prepare. And if you have decided to say, I have been engaged in such and such activities, and maybe, let me bring it back to scoping, you can just choose something that you want to rely on as you're writing these essays, such that at least your things are uniform. What you started with at the beginning, let it be the same thing you're going to end with. Not to just keep on changing things. Now I was a leader here, you didn't talk about it the other side. Now again, you tell them now, after being a leader, now this happened, and again I was removed, I was impeached. And no, that's not acceptable. Just be consistent. My boss said I should start from actually, why I call her my boss, because she's our leader. Yeah, she's the cohort representative. So in this cohort that is coming, I guess you people will also vote for one. Let me start with AI. Someone told me to talk about AI. Now, I'm saying that this call has been attended by 112 people. And to be honest to you, they're not going to choose everyone. They may not even choose half of this number. Yeah, that's the truth. I don't know what Mastercard has in plan, and I don't speak for them. I'm not a spokesperson, but all I know, according to what at least I believe for the past 2 cohorts, this number won't even reach half. What does that imply? That there is going to be competition. But again, that shouldn't discourage you, because for now, everyone has equal chances of being selected. It's now your essays, and how you're going to present yourself. How are you going to convince the team that I'm the right person, I'm the person? So let's go to AI. Now, of course, today, you know what AI can do. Some of us are writing our essays and they are fully relied on AI. You just tell ChatGPT, now I have this question, and Mastercard says, if you're identified as a woman, a person with disability, a refugee, so can you help me draft out something that can make me suit into this? And no, ChatGPT is going to do all that. Generative AI is going to do all that. It will give you some essay and it will tell you, use that. But then I want you to be so careful. So careful. Because something that is written by ChatGPT or any other AI like Bard, it can be detected. Because you realize that these things can have ChatGPT has some usual words it uses. And if a person read your essay and they know what ChatGPT can do, they can know that this was ChatGPT. You realize most statements starts them like additionally, furthermore. There are some common words you will always know that ChatGPT writes things like this. Right now, I'm not going to tell you that don't use it, because perhaps your instructors tell you don't use ChatGPT, but still there are things that become so tight and you want it to explain to you better. And at times, once in a while, you can pass there. But however, even when you use ChatGPT this side, you have to GPT on this and this point. So, all I can say, rely on it, because I believe every one of us has a story. You have a story to tell. Maybe you could write for the story, what you have given to it. Me, I add my own story. My other colleagues add their own story. Yeah. Personally, I may have been a leader somewhere. I may have maybe been facing some financial issues. But you're going to find out that my other colleague, yes, they are leaders, but they have been also having financial issues, but they also had another problem, So at least every one of us has a story. All I would suggest, first write your own story. At worst, if I told you write your own story and maybe you've given it to some people to review, for example, your lecturers, you may give it to maybe some good people that you know that are good at writing. once they have reviewed your essays, and maybe you feel like, okay, can I bring in chat and maybe ask it to help me on fixing my grammar? We have tools like Grammarly. That I think it's okay. But if I told you you're going to just tell it to write for you everything and you don't really edit anything, you just get everything that WeChat has done it and you submit, I can assure you, you are 100 and something, you may flag your essays. You may put a red flag on your essays, honestly. And let me tell you, people who are going to review your essays are very knowledgeable people. And if I'm to tell you the reality, it's not, your essay is not going to be reviewed by one person. You never know you're going to be reviewed by 10 people, perhaps. I don't know. That means if you use ChatGPT and everything, nothing like edit, you were just using it to do everything, people will know that this is ChatGPT. You get? So since this is really a very stiff competition, I would really ask you guys to take your time. Yes, someone has mentioned that it doesn't mean that if you submitted fast, you stand higher chances of being selected. I personally submitted 1 day to the deadline, which I don't advise a person to do because I had my personal reasons why that happened. You can maybe submit 5 days to the deadline, but I submitted 1 day to the deadline. The deadline was like tomorrow, I submitted today. And honestly, this is where I am. So it doesn't mean that you should submit late. You never know, perhaps what if the system goes down yet you have not yet submitted. Submit before, like when it's meaning like 2 days, 5 days. Don't rush. Take your time. Just love what you're doing. Give it your time. Write these essays. Think, and even as you're thinking, please, you write what is real. As everyone has said, be authentic. Don't write what you think Mastercard wants to hear you say. You get some of us who would want to start now writing what we think Mastercard wants us to write. No way. They want to know the real you. You get? Don't give them what you think they want. Give them what is real. Yeah, any other thing I would want to say? Yes, data science is good, guys. Those who are going to apply for data science, the course is doable, although it will require a lot of focus. Yeah, the course is doable. For those who have background in programming, it's a plus. For those who don't have background in programming, please, you're going to learn. Yeah, so you shouldn't feel bad. What I did when I was writing my essays in data science, I made sure that personally, when I was in Uganda, because I'm from Uganda, I engaged in a lot of things. So when I was writing my essays, I focused on one thing, and I mostly focused on some activities that I performed that at one point required perhaps some knowledge in maybe data science. That's what I did. I didn't speak about everything because you would find out that Peter is a person who used to go in every community service. I'm somewhere. We are building something. Today, I'm the other side. We are maybe probably fetching water to do something. The other, so I can't come and start telling them in this year I engaged in constructing this, in the other. No, I made sure that at least the activities I brought into my essays were bit. And it was easy for me to relate them with the course I was going to do. You get it? So I explained some of them were like I had a community activity that was related to teaching Microsoft Office to some young people at a certain school, and you realize that, for example, that Microsoft Office software, it deals with data generally. Excel, you always use it to manipulate data. Word, you always use it to write data. So some of such things, I brought them in, and I was trying to really convince Mastercard that you're right. You see, I've been helping these young people to learn this, and then such that, okay, I've been teaching them to learn this, and this deals with data. So perhaps if I get this program and maybe I can learn more advanced tools of how even data can be manipulated well and analyzed, and maybe people use it to make decisions, I can come and upgrade on this. So that was me. And I'm not saying you should write that, because when you write it, they will know that you copied someone. Get your own. I think that's it. Let me stop at this. Thank you so much. Let me give the mic back to my boss. Thank you.
Peter, thank you so much for that wonderful tips. Like, you actually did justice to the lot of questions that people have been asking on data science. That's top notch for a limited time. I think we have Ayo on the call. Ayo is a scholar for Masters of Food Science. Ayo, are you ready to take the mic?
Yes, thank you on that day. Let me see, is my video on?
Okay.
All right, okay. So
sorry, please, Ayo, can I request that you do justice to the question on AI? I think a lot of people are asking questions about AI for a few minutes before going into your tips. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Okay, so I think a lot of things have been said already regarding writing essay. Please, like they've said, to keep it easy, there is this approach that is called STAR approach, STAR. It's a very popular one. It's a very popular framework. You start with situation, then you talk about the task, then you talk about the action, then you talk about your results, and then you talk about the relevance of the action and the result you get. So that actually helps you to be able to have a framework you follow. So you don't just start your story anyhow. I've seen people that have read their essay. I feel like they actually waste a story, because the mannerism in which they actually place it is a very powerful story, but the way they place it is not hitting it, is not catching it, right? The best way to actually make your story hit home is that first you must give us a background of what the problem is or what was going on, and then let us know what you set your mind to do. So that's like the task, so that we know that to measure your success in that particular program or project you say you embarked on is based on that task. So you said you feel inspired to do this and you did it, right? So it will not be that the reader will be the one that will be like, maybe you did not do it well enough, right? So write situation about whatever you're writing about, the task, then what you did, right? And then the result you got, very measurable. Add statistics as much as possible. You might not have a very exact number, but have a number that makes it feel like, yeah, you really understand what happened and you got some feedback and the impact of what you did. So that's just like, I just feel like I should just give that brief rundown. But I've read that a lot of scholars have talking a lot about writing essay and making sure it syncs with your CV. Okay, so please, before I talk about AI, which I would like to, let me also talk about recommendation. Please, when you want to get a recommendation, make sure you get it from someone that can really write for you. There was a story of someone I heard, she spoke with an employer to write recommendation for her, and the person just wrote, she's a good girl, she is very hardworking, and they wanted to send it like that. Right, so it was someone else that said, I was like, and they would just send the mail to the person, right? And those people would just submit, right? So, okay, if you have a very good relationship with the person recommending you, that will really go a long way. They might, even want to ask you for your updated CV, and you might want to talk maybe about what they know. Like, for example, you might have done something that they were very much aware about, and you might want to update them about it, right? So that it could also help them to shape your recommendation in a way that is also latest and recent to what you've been doing, right? So thank God someone saw the recommendation. I was like, and honestly, it's not as if the person was doing it from a bad mind. The person just thought that was it, right? So let them know that you need them to speak loud about you. People will be writing very crazy recommendation. You don't want them to just write you're a good boy or you're a good girl. So you want someone to write exactly something very loud about you. And please read the instructions of the recommendation, the kind of people they want you to use. Because I applied to quite a number of scholarships that time, so I'm not really sure what is speculative. You remember what speculative is, but I know almost all of them ask you for professional, what's it called? An academic CV or professional CV. So I recommend that, like a reference, right? So I would advise if you can get your supervisor to write a recommendation for you. That can be very powerful, and especially someone that have taken you in 1 or 2 courses that can talk about, what your grades have been and all of that. That might not actually be needed at this point, but I think at the second stage of your application, I think that was when they will ask them something related to that. And so you need someone that can write very, very powerful recommendation for you. And I saw someone write question. I want to answer that question with care about, can you get maybe recommendation from your community or from your church? Directly speaking, I would not recommend it. But let's say you do not have any other choice again. Let's say you tried your best, you don't have any other choice and you want to do that. Make sure, number one, the person has a professional email address, and the person will be recommending you based on your community engagement under them, not based on your religious activities. So there is a former scholar in UBC that actually got a recommendation from something like that, but it was like majorly on community involvement, not from the religious activity. I don't know if you get what I'm saying, right? For example, as a person, I have embarked in medical outreach with a church before, and I worked directly under some set of people who also have some professional background in medical. You understand what I'm saying? So if, let's say, I did not get some other professional reference to use, I could have reached out to one of the people I worked with then, and they could have written something for me. But they will not be writing it for me as maybe my Bible study coordinator or my, you understand, right? They'll be writing it more from the perspective of community involvement, right? And it is going to be like with their professional email. So the person could also be a doctor, the person could be, you understand what I'm saying now? So that could work because you have professional relationship with them. You could have met in church, you could have met anywhere, right? So that is regarding that. So now for AI, please be very careful with the use of AI as much as possible. One of the mistakes, there are 2 major mistakes people make with AI. There are people, I don't think that is even a mistake. I think that's very wrong. People that just want AI to just write their essay and they are bold enough to carry it, to want to go and dump it like that. That's very, very wrong. And there are other second people who I think they are sincere, but they don't know it's wrong. There are people that they write their essay and then give it to AI to help them, reform it. That is a very dangerous approach, because the moment you give whatever you've written, let's say you don't write it yourself, you give it to AI to help you, modify it. AI own it. AI will, how would I say it? It becomes AI own. So the moment you bring it back from AI after it has adjusted it from you, you can try and use AI detection tools. It's never going to show traces that you were even the one that wrote it. It's going to be like 100% AI. I don't fully know how, they review our documents and all of that, but I feel it is something that can be very easy for them to do, to pass through your work through, through AI detection. And once you're having maybe a particular percentage, I'm just saying it, if I'm someone that wants to review as many essays like this, if I am among them, the first thing I'll first do is check through AI detector once I see a particular percentage, and I also read through it to confirm and it's looking somehow, right? I may actually feel disconnected, and from reading it with much energy I would have read with something that's actually connected, with humanity better, you understand? So I think the best approach I will give you, if you want to use AI, is that you can use AI from the aspect of framework of your, of what your points want to be, right? And then when you have the framework of your points, you begin to write it down, your own words. And I'm rounding up now. And please, I'm also saying this: when you don't also copy from AI, even if AI gives you an idea, it is best you also write it on your own and with your own experience and not something generic. Yeah, thank you so much. And if you have any questions specific to maybe food science, you can drop them.
All right, thank you so much, Ayo, for that nice tips. It's actually a lot under a limited time. Thank you so much. Something before we go to Peter. Peter is from International Forestry. If you can be able to work on your essays in a way that shows that you are telling your real stories, there are other ways for you to just answer those questions. You can tell them, okay, I did some research on my own. I'm a scholar, and as a scholar, I need to do some research on my own, which I did. I went to YouTube. I researched about Mastercard scholars. I reached out to other scholars who advised me on what to do, how to pack my essays, something like that. Instead of you telling them that, okay, I used AI. And if you also want to tell them that, oh, yes, you used AI, you should also show them the way the AI is being used. Like what Bode said in the chat. Show them how you use your prompts and all that. So, Peter, are you there? Over to you, Masters of International Forestry. Peter is from Kenya.
Can you confirm that you can get my audio?
Yes, we can hear you.
Awesome. Once more, thank you very much for setting up this session. I think it's a very important session for anyone who prospectively looking to join the Mastercard Scholars program. And also congratulations to everyone who is here, especially those that had their expression of interest accepted and they are proceeding with the next phase of the application process. For those who didn't, I think this is not the last time. There's always iterations on this thing, and so there is always a next time. In less than 5 minutes, I want to touch base on a few things. I'll not belabor to talk much about what has been mentioned elsewhere, but I might want to emphasize on just a few things that I think are important to you and your application. Number one is that a lot of people have been reaching out to us to try and review their applications. I think while it's a good thing, it might be limiting in so many ways, and the obvious reason is like most of us are very busy. Myself, I even joined the meeting late because of conflicting schedules and things like that. So much as we might want to support you, we will not be able to have adequate time to do that. But most importantly is that we do not have the marking scheme that Mastercard uses. But we can tell you for a fact there are specific things that if you do, then your application will be comparatively stronger and increase your chances of getting selected. And number one is that you need to be a protagonist in your own story. So you are telling a story and you need to be the person that is shining on that story. So when you're telling the narrative, let us see your value proposition that you're bringing into this program. Let us see the value proposition that Mastercard is going to get from you. Let us see the value proposition that UBC will be getting from you. You need to go and find out, what is the overarching objective of the Mastercard scholarship, and you'll find that it's to nurture a new generation of transformative leaders that are driving social and economic change or progress across Africa and beyond. So you need to again reflect and find out, am I this transformative leader that they're talking about? And then once you have that, go back, reflect on the authenticity of the work and profile that you've done and the passion that is this an avenue that you think you're steering towards or not. So if you think that is something that you're steering towards, then you see you're a bit more aligned to that. But if not, then you need to reevaluate yourself and why you're coming into the program. I think strategy is very important. I know most of the people that are here are first class holders and things like that. But then the degree helped you to get to that place. But then here it is, how are you going to leverage whatever the degree has given you to tell a convincing story so that anyone reading your narrative can see this is a person of value, this is a person with unique value proposition that if given this opportunity, then they have the agency to transform situations, not in Canada, but anchored from where they come from. Look at the challenge in your community and how are you going to leverage the opportunity that Mastercard is giving you and the networks that Mastercard is giving you to come back home and transform. Mastercard is really looking for not job seekers, but really job creators. How are you going to use this opportunity to be innovative around creating opportunities for other people in your community, for your peers? Africa is going to be the continent with the highest youth bulge. So then how are we going to leverage this human resource or human capital to help Mastercard also drive this transformative social and economic progress across the continent? So wherever you park your narrative, whichever narrative it is, if you park it in a way that it fits this context, then you basically already know that you are comparatively in an advantage. And then finally, in terms of strategy, think about the people that are maybe sending your recommendation. You can have so many people, but these people need to be strategic. These people, hopefully you need to get people that are also in very high, not necessarily very high places, but influential people. But that's because I feel like much as it's on merit, but again, if you know maybe someone that, if you check their LinkedIn profile, they have a connection with, they have regional influence, or they maybe know they have some influence at UBC or something that if it carries weight, then I think that would really help. I am just checking my time and I'm seeing my 5 minutes are lapsing. But then finally, to conclude, I'll say, at the end of the day, it's about you. So you need to trust yourself. You need to look yourself in the mirror and you need to own your narrative. Once you own your narrative and you put it in a way that reflects both your ambition, Mastercard's mission, and what you're going to take out of UBC to nurture or grow your own home or community, then you are comparatively in an advantage. Thank you very much for this opportunity, Olatomedia.
All right, thank you so much, Peter. Now, the floor is open for questions while we wait for Kelvin from MGM. The first questions from Ikechi. I think Ikechi asked a question of if you don't have the experience, that what can you do? First and foremost, for you to ask that question, I believe you did the expression of interest and you have the link to apply, right? And for you to submit the express of interest, you should have other things, other leadership capability that I believe will make you to be selected to apply for the next stage. So you necessarily might not have those on-ground skills like the community engagement. You necessarily might not have the volunteering roles, but I believe you have taken courses in relation to that field. Okay, aside your bachelor's degree, have you taken other courses in Coursera? Have you taken other courses in Udemy? Have you taken other courses? Like the length of you acquiring more knowledge. There are different ways to acquire knowledge. You might not volunteer, you might not serve, but at least you are building up yourself. Do you have publications? Have you applied for? Have you taken other courses? Those are things you can attach. You can attach the links to those courses. You can attach the grade, and I think that will go a long way in your application in replacement for the leadership experience like volunteering roles. So if you have questions, I think blessing as your question be answered. I saw your questions on the group. As Bode answered your question. Are you there? Okay. Dakpo, do you have any questions to ask?
Yeah, I'm here. Still blessing. Actually, I think Mide did a justice to that, and so it's not as if you will tell them you use AI for the right thing, like following the frame of a thing. So I think it has been answered. Thank you.
All right. If you know your questions has been answered so far, you can just drop your hands down so we can know those that want to ask question. Michael, has your question been answered?
No, please. My question has not been.
We can't hear you, please.
Please, my question has not been answered.
Okay, what is your question? And who are you directing your question to?
Okay, I've applied towards the data science masters. And then my question is,
okay,
I've passed the first stage, which is the statement of interest, and I've been asked to continue to the second stage, which requires my transcript. But however, I don't know. I don't have my complete transcript. I only have the 7 sentences which I used in the application of statement of interest. So I wanted to know if I can use that while I wait for my final complete official transcript to come, which might be in around November or December. And then the other question is, I wanted to know, based on the link they sent to me through my email, it looks familiar to just the one I filled for the statement of interest. So I don't know, is that the link I'm supposed to use to continue the application? Because it looks like the same link I've used. And then I'll be want to know the essays that are on that particular stage that I can use.
Okay, Michael, first of all, you can use an awaiting result in as much as you have that statement of result that you said before the main one. In as much as you get the main one that this same year, then you can actually use an awaiting result. Then I think if you have your expression of interest and they sent you a link, you should go through that link. Every details is on the link. Through that link, you can actually see what else questions that you are expecting to answer. I believe I have answered your question. Kelvin, MGem, are you ready to take your section? Kelvin. All right, while we wait for Kelvin, Jennifer, has your question been answered?
No, hello, no, it hasn't been answered.
Okay, shoot your shot.
Okay, so I was sent a link, an application link, and then I'll send an updated link later on by the Mastercard Foundation. So why I'm trying to fill my essays page, I followed the instructions. Must not be, I think there's a character limit, and I'm well within the character limit. However, it doesn't proceed to the next page. I sent an email to the foundation about no response yet. So I want to know, how is this problem from the form, or I don't know if any other person has experienced this.
I really don't know anything about that. I think if I should ask, if you are with the same link, if you are experiencing this issue, can you just drop it on the chat box? And if you are not, just identify, let's see if it's a general issue or not, and now we can take it up from there.
So
if you are experiencing issue moving ahead, just drop it on the chat box or not. Okay. I can see that they said you should use the updated link. Use the second link to access the application.
The second link I'm using that is giving me this issue, the updated link.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Is there any other person having the same issue?
I don't know. Is she complaining that she wasn't able to go back to the previous page, or
she can't
is
move
not progressing?
ahead to the next page? I think so.
Wow, I haven't experienced this, but I only know that once you leave a page, you cannot move back.
Yes, Mastercard sent a second mail talking about something like that, and the second link. Me, I had not experienced it, but I just went with the second link.
Okay, thank you so much. You can also try another browser, try 3 different browsers, Jennifer. If you're having the same issue, then probably you can just look through the email very well and see which link you're supposed to use. Probably the recent link, I think. Because I know some people are having issue, and Mastercard said they resend the link to people. So I think you should just try using different browsers and see how you can move from there.
Okay, thank you.
Right, you are welcome. Kelvin, are you there?
Yeah.
All right, you can take the section. Just 5 minutes, please.
Oh, okay. Hi guys, I'm Kelvin from Ghana, Mastercard Scholar. Sorry, keeping you waiting. I just had a tough time yesterday, so I know my colleagues. Sorry for joining late to the webinar late too. I know my colleagues have said it all. And guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. So what I will touch on is about the
MGM.
yeah, okay. So before MGM, let me talk much about the community engagement. See, as we are gathering the application, please focus on the volunteer activities and the community engagement that you did. We could be specific on what you did for people in your community and what benefited them. Yeah, be specific. Just go straight to the point. Don't just tell a story, but highlight the important things, highlight the important tasks that you did for your people, and also that also benefited you. Okay. So for the MGM program, it's a 9 month to 12 program, and it's very intense. Very intense because always we are submitting a tax. And because it's Masters of Geometrics for Environmental Management, some people will be like, because what if they didn't do geomatics? Can they join? Yes, you can join. It's not for only geomatics, because it's geomatics in forestry, applying GIS in forestry. So if you're an ecology student, a forester, even a computer science student, you can also apply and also try and know how you're going to use the computer science in the geomatics. Okay. And also, if you have less background in Python, R, or maybe less soft skills knowledge, don't worry. If you come, they teach you as a beginner, then you master your skills in coding. Yeah. Is my time up?
No, I thought you were done.
Oh no, sorry. Okay, so and also be prepared for anything, because it's not how they teach back home. It's like how they teach here in Canada. It's very different and very diverse. Yeah, so be prepared for the task ahead. It's very difficult, tedious. Always have to be on time management. As we came, they told us about time management. We thought maybe they were lying, but guys, it's the truth. Time management. You have to be on time, submitting assignments, doing tasks ahead, and also making sure you're on point. Not just submitting assignments, but make sure that whatever you are learning, you understand it and you are getting the skills, especially in the coding. Yes, I always emphasize on the coding, because whatever we do here, 90% is coding. 90% is coding. Don't forget, if you don't have coding background, doesn't mean you are lost. No, they will teach you at first and you get going. Okay, thank you guys. I'm sorry I was late.
All right, thank you so much, Kelvin. I think we should take 5 more questions before going. But please, can you try to summarize your questions? Because, like I said, these scholars, we just woke up. We started the webinar at 8 a.m. and a lot of them are so busy. We have a program by 10, which is compulsory for Mastercard scholars. So we are trying our possible best to accommodate your questions. And I'm seeing a lot of scholars already dropping their LinkedIn profile on those groups. That's one of the benefits. You can just reach out to them that, okay, I attended the webinar and this is what you said, I would like more clarification on this. And I'm very sure that due to the fact that you are present today, they would actually create time to answer your question. And please, if you want them to review an essay for you, try as much as possible best to send your essay, like, if possible, 1 month before the deadline, because a lot of us are working with back-to-back deadlines, and we will try to accommodate your essays regardless. So you can see their LinkedIn. I think a lot of them, Peter has dropped his LinkedIn profile, and most of them, yes, but Dito has dropped his LinkedIn profile, so you can just network with them from there. So I think we'll pick just 5 people. Ayomide, do you want to say something?
Yes, I want to actually say something, especially regarding review. And I think it is something that most people don't usually consider. That when you need your paper to be reviewed, please don't wait only for scholars to review your papers. You have friends that are very good in picking out errors in this thing. Share it with them. They don't necessarily have to be scholars, right? When they are reading your essay, they are not reading it only from a scholar's perspective. They're also reading it from the thing like, is it really connecting, right? It is not an essay that only scholars can understand, right? But I understand that we have an advantage of the fact that we know how the flow could better be, right? But so even though, like for example, my essay, the person that actually consistently checked all of my essay for me was not even applying for scholarship, is not even really a scholar, but this is someone that I know is very good in reviewing things, right? And then I have one other scholar that I only checked it just once, right? So please don't only say you are waiting till maybe Olatomide review for you. She might still do that, but still connect with your other friends and good people that might also be willing to check for you as well.
All right, thank you so much, Ayomide. Ayomide, someone has called you. I think Grace said she sent a connection for some time now. You have not responded. So please answer Grace. Thank you. All right, Oladapo, can you ask your question? I can see Oladapo Toluwani.
Hi, good evening. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can.
Good evening, and thank you for the webinar. So I'll go straight to my question. My question is directed to Roland, but I know that any of the scholars can answer the question. So based on the recommendation letter, there is a PhD student in my school where I had my bachelor's degree. We worked together on a research. So I would like to know if he can write a recommendation letter for me. He's a PhD student. He's not a lecturer in my school, but he is a PhD student in my school, and we work together on a research. So I would like to know if he can use the school official letterhead. He has it. I would like to know if he can write a recommendation letter for me. That's my question.
All right. Is there anyone that wants to answer the question? Roland. Okay.
Roland is there. All right. For a PhD student, I don't know what kind of weight the PhD student holds. The best person for an academic recommendation is going to be a lecturer or your supervisor who you have worked with on a project. A PhD student is also a student like you, just that he is at a higher level of education. I don't know how many research that person has published, but I really think that it is better for you to get a recommendation from a lecturer or a professor than a PhD student. It is at the worst case scenario when you don't have anybody to write for you that you can use the PhD student. That's what I think. I don't know whether other scholars have anything to talk in that regard, but that's what I think.
Yeah, I would like to contribute. Okay.
You can go on.
Okay. I would like to contribute to this. Please do not go there at all, please, because they don't have the capacity. They are students like you too, just like they are PhD. So they are not your supervisor. Though you may have relations, maybe work relationship, but it's not going to be a G. I would advise that you use your supervisor, your professors, or maybe where you do internship somewhere. It's not necessarily academic. Maybe you do internship, NYSC, people that you work with in organization, they can write recommendation for. Please do not use the PhD student. Thank you.
All right. What I actually wanted to add to that is that like they've said, that should not be your first go-to. If at all you want to consider it, it should be on this very tight consideration. Is the person also holding another position, maybe in the school, and they have a professional email from the school that is not that is not like at student or something, because every student's professional email, we always have something like, students, maybe at student, this thing. And you will not be able to use someone like that as your academic CV, since the relationship you had is professional distance. So the highest you could have done would be professional relationship. For example, there was a time I had a PhD student in my school that we have a professional relationship together, but she was also a lecturer in another school, right? She was one of the people I used, but as my professional distance, and she used the email from where she is working, not as PhD student. She did not write it there that she's PhD student in my school. Our recommendation is from where she's working, and we have professional relationship together. You understand?
All right, thank you
Yes,
so much,
thank you very
Ayomide.
much.
Still yet, someone is calling that you are not accepting their LinkedIn profile picture and request. Please accept it, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay. Oluwapelumi, I can see you on my screen. As a question be answered. Pelumi, are you on the call?
Can you hear me?
All right, please
Please,
just
can you hear
summary.
me?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think I was, and someone answered right, but
All
I'm
right.
not too clear. So the question was just, okay, actually I'm applying for to data science, and then I have background in mathematics, and okay, so and there's a particular portion of the essay whereby what I intend to write, I had a lot of impact in leadership, community experience, and then cutting across mentorship, academic and personal development to students, a massive number of students, and that is mathematics and statistics students fellowship when I was in school, because I graduated early this year. So talking about the involvement and then how through this impact, what can I do to master? I was not asking that, although it was something looking like a religious setting, right? But can I, the word fellowship, that's what I was after. Okay. In writing my work, right, just being loud on academics, mentorship, and all these things when I'm writing, right, like, can I still consider something that is setting like that? That's what I'm just trying to say. I was not saying that, okay, maybe generically now, religious settings, like, what is your say about it?
All right, thank
So that
you
was
so much, Pelumi. My say is, in as much as it's a leadership experience and it is relating to that particular aspect of the program, okay, statistic is one aspect of data science. If I'm wrong, Peter can correct me. In as much as you did something relating to that aspect, write it. Anything that is in alignment with what you want to apply for, please don't hold the experience. Write it there. All right. The only thing you should battle with is your word limit. You just work with the word limit, but you can put your stuff there. It's your story. You tell it anyhow you want to tell it.
all right. Thank you so much for the
Okay. Maybe to just add on that.
All right.
Actually, data science is math. Yes, it is weird to say, but the people who did IT, it's just a simple plus that the programming aspect comes there. But when you go through this level and you apply to the university, you're going to see that they are going to ask you whether you've covered probability, linear, calculus, such things. So, good thing you're saying you had a background in math and statistics. You're just good enough. You're just good. Math, you're good. Actually, it may even become harder for a person who just did plain IT and they don't have any math aspect. It may be a bit, but math, you're good.
Thank you so much. Yes. Although I also have professional experience as a data analyst in like when I was in 400 level, right? So that like concerning, because I've checked the requirements from the portal, both the academic and professional, I see that okay in a way, right? Thank you so much for the insight also. Thank you.
You're welcome. We have Sempira Isaac. Isaac, can you ask a question? Please summary. Thank you. Isaac, are you there?
Biology, chemistry, bachelor's of education. Are they eligible for food and economics masters? Food science and economics masters.
So what's your question? I can't hear you.
Yeah. Are you hearing me now?
Yes, I can.
Yes, I was asking, having biology, chemistry, bachelor's in education, are they eligible for food and economics masters?
Have you gotten the link for did you show your express of interest and have you gotten the link to apply, like the second stage?
No, actually, I'm just planning to not apply this time.
Oh, you're planning for next year, right?
Yes.
Okay, do we have Safia on the call? Safia, if you're there, can you answer if he can apply?
Sorry, can you go over your question again?
Yeah, I'm doing biology, chemistry, bachelor's in education. Are they eligible for food science and economics masters?
Oh, food and resource economics. You did your undergrad in biology?
Chemistry.
No, I'm not. You're not. You're actually not eligible, but you can send them an email. They'll respond to you. Because maybe you have certain peculiarities, I don't know. But you can send, since you're even working towards next year, it's not too late for you to go to their website, MFRE UBC, and send them an email. They'll definitely respond to you that this is your situation. Are you eligible to apply? You have interest in, well, but ordinarily you have to have a background in economics or something around economics for you to be eligible. But I don't know your peculiarities, so you can, or your interest, so you can send them an email.
All right.
Does that answer your question? Yeah.
Thank you so much, Safia. All right, Mohammed, I can see your hands up. Do you have any question or has a question been answered?
Question.
Mohammed.
Yes. Thank you so much. So please, I have 2 questions. I would like to make it as brief as possible. The question number 1 is there any page limit for the CV? Like, can somebody go like 4 to 5 pages? Another question is, I'm still confused about the email. My second recommender, who is an employer, is using a Gmail. So, but there is official letterhead, but his Gmail is his name at gmail.com. So I don't know if any of the past scholars have experience using that and it was a success. Thank you.
All right. Is there any scholar that wants to answer briefly on that question?
Yeah, I can
I
go.
will advise don't use. I will advise please don't use Gmail. Please, anybody could have created Gmail. I don't know if anybody have used it, but personally, I did not even bother taking that risk.
All right, Peter, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, for the first question, I'd advise please be concise and straight to the point with your application. You will be about 10,000, maybe 1,000 this time because of expression of interest. I do not think people have the leverage of time to read 4 or 5 pages of content, or 10 if you're just beating around the bush. If you have 2 pages but it is clear, just hitting the nail on the head, I'd advise to go for that.
Can I add on something on what Peter's just said?
Yeah, Peter too.
Maybe for that thing of the number of pages, or you know what you're doing, there is a word limit. I think it's going to be between 200 and 300, 200 words actually, 200 to 250. And they would even encourage you if you can write less. So just be straight to the point. And also about that reference being sent with an email or .gmail, it's not really good. So I would say don't. Let it be a company maybe email that sends that maybe you append on those references. Because mind you people are many. So whatever mistake you do, and there are others who have perfected it, you know what that means. I won't maybe conclude on that, but just give it your best, guys. And lastly, maybe people put in efforts. You do give it your best. Better to give it your best and say, I tried all I could. Because indeed, it's a great opportunity. For those who will be selected and you come to Canada, you will know what maybe we are talking about. So give it your best. Write your essays. Give it time. Just give it. Let it be like, I can't afford to lose this. And I know you guys will go through. So, thank you.
Thank you so much, Peter. Climatina, that will be the last question for today. All scholars, please drop your LinkedIn email, LinkedIn link on the group so people can connect with you and ask 1 or 2 questions. Also, my name is Olatunde Ojajuni, so you can just go on LinkedIn and just look for me, or I'll just try and drop my link. So, Climatina, over to your question. Summary, please.
Okay,
thank you.
Very much. Olatunde. I'm from Ghana, and I'm applying for sustainable forest management here. But my long-term goal is to be a researcher and a lecturer. But I don't know, since the sustainable forestry management is a 9-month course and then it doesn't require thesis, and my long-term goal is to be a researcher. Is this an issue with me being selected or not? Thank you.
All right, Bode, can you answer that question? Bode or Sylvia, if they're on the call? Just briefly, please. Bode or Sylvia, is anyone?
Hey, Olatunde, can you hear me? Can you
Yes,
hear
we
me?
can hear you. We can hear you.
Please, Olatunde, can you answer the question? What was the question? I wasn't listening very well. Sorry. Please.
Thank you very much. Please, I was asking that my long-term goal is to become a researcher, but I'm also applying for the sustainable forest management. In a situation whereby this course or program doesn't give me the opportunity to write a thesis or something, and then in my essay I wrote that I want to be a researcher. Does it go, or does it have an issue with me being selected or not? Thank you.
Okay. Well, it's fine. That is your interest. But MSFM is a course-based program. Additionally, if you really want to be a researcher, you can also look at area that Master of Sustainable Forest Management related to. You may want to pick some point from there. It's not a bad idea as a researcher if that's truly your long-term goal. You can state it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
All right, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining. I hope you learned 1 or 2 things from today's webinar. Let me see your reaction on the page if you learned 1 or 2 things in today's webinar, and we'll see if we have time. Probably those that moved to the interview stage, if you can host another webinar whereby we can help people through the interview, then we'll try and do something like that. But if we can't, please try your best in your application. The character limit is very important. Try your possible best to stick with the character limit, and also in essay, tell your story. If you are using AI, be so wise in your AI, and then reach out to scholars. If you want to send, like what Ayo said, reach people that can review things for you aside scholars, because scholars are very busy. And if you still want to reach out to us, please, it should be a lot of time difference before your deadlines. Thank you once again, and I'm so excited like having you guys here. Thank you for the questions. If you could not answer your question, I think you can connect with us and ask us your individual question, and I will try our possible best to like respond to all of them. So you have a wonderful day. Bye.
Yeah, thank you everyone. Olatunde, thank you for this. Thank you. God bless. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, scholars. Thanks. I'm rooting for you all. See you in UBC.
Yeah, see you next year.
Thank you, everyone.
Amen. You'll be the one hosting this webinar next
session. Yeah. I would like to host all of you. Yeah. Great. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I have a question.